Okay guys, so what we're going to do today is we're going to start looking at character modeling, and we're going to start with creating just like a base mesh of a character in a low poly style, as it's a good way to start off, and we can always build detail into it later. That could be used for sort of multiple different character designs. So once you've got like a base mesh, particularly in games, you can then sort of customize that base mesh character with whatever clothing and accessories or whatever it is that you want to give that base mesh to turn it into whatever else you want it to be. Also, if you've got multiple characters within a game and you want it to be compatible with different things like equipment or whatever, it's good to have one base mesh to work with. So that's what we're going to create. And we're going to use this reference image that I found online, essentially. It's a good one just for just a generic character model. Um, and yeah, so let's get started. So let's go to 3ds Max. The first thing we want is we want this image to be imported in as like a reference image so we can use it to kind of almost like a trace it, if you like. Okay, so what I'm going to do, my perspective view, I'm going to create a plane. Okay, this is what my reference image is going to be applied to. So I need to go to my material editor and push M on the keyboard. And I just want to get just a standard material to work with. I don't need anything fancy, any of these Arnold materials. So I'm just going to pop up to rendering up here, change the render setup, change it from Arnold to scanline. And then I can drag in this guy here, the standard legacy material. Okay, nice and easy to work with. And I have my character reference here, which I'm just going to drag straight onto my material editor. And I'm going to plug this into the diffuse color. Okay, now what I'm going to do is select this material and just apply it to here. Okay, and then we have our reference image. But the problem is, depending on the size of the plane that I just made, it could be squashed or stretched, which I don't want. I want it to be the right aspect ratio of my reference image, so that I'm tracing something that's proportionally correct. So how can we do that? Well, what I would normally do is I find my image that I'm using, right click it, go into the properties, go into the details, and get the dimensions of the image. So it's 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels. Okay, nice and easy to remember that one. So what I can then do is go to my length and width parameters for my plane and change it to 1024 by 1024. Okay, you might think, well, that's ginormous, but the main thing is it's proportionally correct. And then if you wanted to from there, you could then scale that back down again. But I'm happy for it to work with it at this scale. Um, these aren't. This is just a generic value. It's not a number of centimeters or meters or anything like that. So yeah, that's fine. Also, you've got this grid here in the middle. I don't need to use that at all, so I'm going to push the G key to hide that away. Great. Also, just going to turn my edged faces on. I don't need all these segments there. I can turn that down to 1. Okay, so I have my reference image here on a plane. So I'm going to rotate this because my model is not going to be lying flat. It's going to be stood upright. So I'm going to turn on my angle snapping, rotate that 90 degrees. Okay, now if I come up here into my other views, I don't want these to be wireframe because I want to be able to see the image in my other views. So I'm going to change this to default shading. There we go. So I can see my front view. So this is where I'm going to be tracing this front view of the character. My side view, I obviously don't have anything. If I change that to default shading, there's still nothing there. So what I need to do is hold shift and rotate this one another 90 degrees as a copy. And then now I have my left view where I can be tracing the model from the side. Okay, in my perspective view here, I just want to move that back and over like that. Okay, so my actual model will be somewhere in the middle of here where it's tracing the front there and the side there. Okay, so that's great. My references are coming together, but I don't want these to accidentally be able to be moved. If you've done much modeling before, you'll know that you can very easily accidentally select things and kind of move it about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze this. So if I come over to my list of assets here, you can see that you can just turn on being frozen. But the problem is when you turn that on, it removes the material from it. So all of a sudden it's useless to us now. So what I need to do, I'm going to unfreeze it, is first of all go over to the, I believe it's this one, yeah, the one that's the tab that's like a little monitor there, the display tab. Scroll down to the bottom and where it says show frozen in grey, we want that to be turned off. Okay, same for our other plane here, show frozen in grey, turned off. Okay, now I can freeze both of these and it won't grey out the material. Okay, and if I try to select this stuff now from any view, I can't select it, I can't move it, it is completely stuck there. You know, it can't interfere with my actual model. Okay, so that's kind of how we can set up the reference images. And now we can get started with the model itself. Okay, so I'm going to start from a box. And where should we start from? Let's start from the front view, shall we? So I'm going to zoom in here to the head. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just model half of our character, and then the other half, because it's symmetrical, will just be duplicated. So if I just draw a box which is the size of half of the head, it's around about there. Doesn't matter too much about this exact scale going that way. And you'll see, because it's quite a sketchy image, you don't really need to worry about it being right up to like the perfect edge, because you know the edge could be anywhere from here to here. You know, it's a bit sketchy, so don't worry too much about perfection. Right, so what we can do from here is we need to shape this to the size of the head. Same in this direction, which at the moment is way off from our reference image. So I'm going to get my move tool and I'm going to move this over to here. And we need to increase the height apparently this time. Okay, and as you can probably notice, it becomes a bit difficult straight away because I can't see the image underneath the model. Okay, so in order to add some transparency so we can see through our model, what you need to do is with the model selected, do the Alt and X, and as you can see that adds the transparency to the model. And you can do Alt X as many times as you want to toggle that transparency on and off. Okay, but it's quite useful to have it transparent so we can see what we're working with. So we've got a box that's the right scale that way, and it's the right scale this way. So now I'm ready to convert it to an editable poly so that I can start refining this. So what I need now is I need some more edges going this way so that I can refine the contour of this shape there. So let's add a connect in the middle there. My edge faces need to be on there, that would help. And another one at the top, another one at the bottom. Kind of divided it up into 4. Then I'm going to go to vertex and I'm going to start marquee selecting. Okay, so it's very important to marquee select so that you get, if I just selected 1 for example, it's just moving this one at the front. If I marquee select, it's getting both of them behind it. It's very important to marquee select. And I'm just going to move that across like that. This one can move up a bit. Come down here, move that one over, and then move that one over. Okay, don't worry about it being perfectly rounded to the shape of the head there. Bearing in mind this is going to be kind of a low poly base mesh, we can quite easily up the level of detail later on. Okay, great, that works in that view. Now we got a look at our side view, so I need to turn the edge faces on here, and I can start moving these vertices around again. So this one's going to be like there. There we go. To start shaping it to the reference image. Okay, trying to go up and down too much at this stage. Okay, you might find that maybe I need another edge in this way. So you might, because there's such a big gap there. So you can select those edges, use connect, go back to vertex again, and then you've just got yourself another kind of layer of detail there, which you can adjust. Potentially need to do the same at the top there. Another connection. Okay. That one, what I might actually do is move that up and then move that over. That seems about fine. Okay, we need to come back here again because we've added some detail in. And re-refine the front. That's great. Okay, cool. So it looks good from the front and the left. The model in perspective view, on the other hand, looks totally weird. So what I'm first of all going to do is add my symmetry in so I can see both sides of the model. So to do that, select editable poly, the top level, get your modifier list and go for symmetry. There it is. Okay, and we can see that it's not, like the mirror is not in the middle of my shape. So I need to lower that down, hit mirror, and just adjust that to the middle. What you want to actually do, the best bet is you want it to overlap slightly, like that. Perfect. Okay, with symmetry, if I go into editing, you'll notice that you can't see the other side anymore. So what you need to do is click on this little test tube, show end result on, and it will show you both sides. Okay, and you want to work with the side that's orange. So what we need to do is start rounding this off now because it's very square from the top. So I need some more edges going down this side of my model. I'm going to Alt-X to make that not transparent anymore. So let's go to edge. So I want to go from the top. It's not liking that. No, that's fine. Sorry, so let's go down and select all of those. Okay, all the way down to there. And then let's do a connect. Okay, yeah, it definitely hasn't selected the top one up there for me. So there we are. So make sure the edge is going all the way around the model. Press tick to apply. And then what we want to do is just start manually kind of doing this now. Is just kind of, you're going to want to go in multiple directions. Is just using this to round this off so it's not so box-like. Okay, it can help to kind of do it in the side views. This is one of them things where you kind of need to start getting used to just kind of free-handing stuff. And it does take time. Bear in mind, I'm going to be having to do this just as quick as I can. So my end result might not look as good as what your end result can be. Okay, so already that looks more rounded off now. Okay, chin looks a bit weird down here. Okay, but as I said, you know, you can refine yours as much as you want to and make it a bit nicer. Okay, so there we go. We have a base shape for a head. Okay, so what we can do from here, let's go to polygon, and we want to extrude down the neck area. Now, what I've noticed here is that I need this edge to be up here and one down here so that I can extrude down from where the neck is. So again, you might just need to do some adjustments to line things up. So I'm going to line that up to there. And then, do I want another edge in there? It looks like I may need one. So let's do another connection in here. and line this one up to there. What that will give us, okay, we go to polygon selection, is this polygon here that I can extrude down. Okay, see it's not quite extruding and lining up in the middle, that's fine. We can just get this edge and just pull it in so that it joins with the symmetry modifier. Okay. And again, just round that off a little bit. We'll start using our reference image here. So let's pull that down to there. And that down to there. Okay, looks quite good from the front as well. Let's do our Alt-X. Yeah, that's okay. Again, you might need to round it off a bit. Something like that. Okay. And essentially, in short, it's just a case of doing this the whole way down to through the model. So we want to start going into the shape of the body. So we're going to extrude down from here again. Okay. Make sure it stays joined in the middle. Probably shouldn't have gone down quite so far there. What I might do is just extrude down a few times to give myself that polygons that I need. That'll do for now. And then I can start coming in here and moving the stuff around. So you can come up to there, up to there. That needs to join in the middle. Okay, and then from this side, obviously, got some issues, so that needs to come up to there. This one out to here. As I say, it's just a case of tracing to this outline. Okay, and then you think, like we did with the head, well, I need some more detail across here, so I'm going to select all of those, do a connection, and again, just go down, lining things up as you need to. Okay, then from your perspective view, you're going to be thinking, well, this looks weird, like a weird alien creature, so you need to kind of round things off again. Okay, and then if you need more detail, so I might think, well, I need some more detail around this way. So I'm going to select all these edges like this. Do a connection like that. Okay, that's going to give me some more vertices so that I can start rounding off the body from the front here. Okay. So it really is just a bit of a meticulous process. Okay, remember to try and keep things lined up if they go off on your reference image. Okay. So, you know, we're getting somewhere, and then again, we need to go down again now. So I'm going to extrude down. Keep selecting the wrong side. So downwards. Okay, let's go downwards a couple of times. Back to vertex again. just keep lining this stuff up. Okay, need some more detail. Do another connection. Okay, and then you always just come back to your perspective view, start shaping things. Might do with a connection going down here, actually, down the side. So again, I'm going to select all these side ones because that's kind of a bit flat on the side of the body there. Do a connection. And then that gives me the opportunity to sort of round this out a bit more. You can see some of it had lost its shape a bit from the reference. Okay. What I sometimes also do is if the sort of reference image is kind of just getting in your way, you can come over here and just kind of hide them with the eyeball. Make your perspective view a bit bigger and then just kind of focus on rounding off like the shape. Okay, but I don't want to spend absolutely ages or the video is going to be incredibly long. So what I'll do is I'll kind of pause there for now. So just try and kind of get to that point of the model. Okay, spend some time sort of getting it right. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and move on to the next bits in another part. Okay, and that's all for now.